is a video that nobody has actually asked me to make, but people have often asked me the question about how do you pack for a business trip and what are the essentials. But it's a video that I wanted to make because it's one of the things that I find hardest in travelling is actually deciding what to take. I'm an overpacker, I can't help myself. Basically I can sort out everything that I need to take, stick it in a bag, and then I almost double it. Whereas everybody says what you should do is lay everything out that you think that you need for a trip, then take half of it away. I do the opposite. So I find this quite hard, and maybe somebody would actually find this fairly useful. Or just curious, people want to know what's in the bag. Most of my trips are just 1 or 2 nights, so it's perfectly feasible for me to do it with just a single hold-all. It makes it so much easier getting to the airport, getting from the airport, getting in and out of taxis, not having to wait for the baggage carousel at the other end. It just makes your trip a lot easier and a lot faster, and despite my overpacking tendencies, you can actually take everything that you need for a couple of days, 3 days, even up to a week, which is the longest that I've done with this. If I don't have to travel with a suit, sometimes I do, that's unavoidable, then I do need to take a bag that I can actually stow on the aircraft, just to keep everything in good condition, and you need more stuff. But this has pretty much everything that I need. This is what I travel with, just a standard hold-all size bag. That is pretty neat for me, but that's pretty much everything that I need for this trip, which is actually a 2-night trip. Okay, here we go. Right, first things first, toiletries. You can get them all in one of these little plastic bags. If you're only going away for a couple of nights, that's got deodorant, it's got toothpaste, it's got toothbrush, it's just got the pure essentials. These little plastic bags, some airports actually charge for these, so when you travel through an airport and these are available free of charge, pick up a handful, because you never know when you're going to need them. You can do a couple of trips with one of these bags, but they do start to look a bit furry after a while, so it's a good thing to change on a regular basis. Clothes. So if I'm going away for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, believe it or not, I can actually fit almost everything in this. This is an Eagle Creek packet system, medium size. I can easily fit 5 shirts in here, plus a couple of pairs of trousers. There's a folding card, so you fold everything neatly, stick it in, and it's not exactly compressed, but you get the idea. You can pack that nice and neatly. I'm not going to go through what's in there because that would be a bit too much, really, wouldn't it? You don't want to know that. So that's the clothes. Additionally, because this is Warsaw and it's December, I've got some additional clothing which is easy to get to. So gloves for this trip, cardigan. I'm British, always carry a cardigan, particularly when you're travelling somewhere cold, and a scarf. So that's that lot. The next thing to come out of the bag, power. Everybody travels with devices. I travel with a laptop and I travel with my phone. And because I like to film things, I also travel with camera kit as well. So power is one of those things, you never know when you're actually going to be running out of batteries. If you use an iPhone, you know that that's going to run down very, very quickly. My iPhone, I had to get one of these Apple battery packs to go on it, because I just couldn't do with going away on a trip and having to charge my phone twice a day. You haven't got that option. So battery packs and power, very, very important. So the devices in the bag, laptop. I did go through a phase where I tried to travel just with an iPad to try and cut down on size and weight. That's a good aim. You should always try and cut down on size and weight when you're travelling, but it's not always feasible. If you're just doing presentations, an iPad is absolutely fine. But the work that I'm doing now, I also need ready access to spreadsheets and order forms and all kinds of stuff on an ongoing, whenever I'm travelling. That stuff doesn't stop. So the day job carries on whilst I'm travelling. So I need to make sure that I can still do that. So I do actually need to take the laptop with me. This one has got a super big battery on it, which our IT department got for me, which is great, so that can last Well, that's been running for a while, so I'd probably get about 6 hours out of that. I think it was about 8.5, 9 hours when I first got it. But yeah, a worthy investment, that one. It might have a big battery, but you need the power leads as well. Or whenever you get the chance, top up. One for the phone, and obviously the USB lead, that works for a few other things as well. I always put my adapters actually on my plugs so they travel together, so I'm not reaching around in a bag when I get there trying to find the adapters. When I know I'm going to a place that needs a certain adapter, stick the adapter on before I go, and then it's ready for you, and you always know where it is. Bag here for camera stuff. I love to use a GoPro. So this is my GoPro travel bag, which has GoPro and everything that I need in there for the GoPro. Great for time lapses, and I think one of the most versatile travel cameras that you can actually get, certainly for video. Not so much for photography, but certainly for video. Spare batteries in there as well. Always travel with 5 GoPro batteries. They tend to eat them up, so if you're going away for a few days, you definitely need all 5 of those. Right, I travelled to Ireland on business. I had to go to Dublin for probably about 14 years. The first lesson that I learned travelling to Dublin, very valuable lesson, no matter the time of year or where you're going, always take an umbrella. If you can get one to fit in your bag, great, there you go. Money. Because I go to the same countries on a regular basis, and a lot of them don't use the euro, they all use very different currencies. Today I'm in Poland, zloty, this is my zloty box. So any spare change or any spare notes that I have left over, I don't bother changing them over when I get back to the UK. I just keep them for the next time. So I just take that out of a drawer at home, stick it in the bag, and it's ready to go. And I know that I've actually got local currency as soon as I arrive, whether it's for drinks or taxi or whatever you need. When you actually get to the airport, you're ready to go. So the next thing, little pile of papers and bits and bobs. So notebook, I don't go anywhere without my notebook. That's my working life in there. I might have my laptop, but I need my notebook. Then I have a whole pile of work stuff. This is the stuff that I need specifically for this trip. One of the most important things, knowing where you're going, maps. So I always print off a map for each of the appointments that I have before I actually go on the trip. So if you do, it's very rare, certainly in Europe, that you come across a taxi driver that doesn't speak any English whatsoever, but it does happen. And it's very useful just to be able to give them the address of the place that you're going to. It's all well and good to have that on your phone, but phones, they do have a habit of giving up when you actually need them sometimes. So yeah, having a piece of paper in your pocket ready to go, that's very, very valuable. So that's a whole pile of work stuff. That goes with the notebook, and then some reading material. I'm publicising somebody else's publication here, but that's what I happened to pick up on the airport on the way out on this particular trip. Okay, emergency stuff. Food, water. So water, absolutely yes, you're going to have to ditch that going through security at the airport, but just make sure that you buy one as soon as you've got through on the other side, so that you've always got some water with you, because you never know when the next delay is coming. You never know where your next drink's going to come from if you're stuck on an aircraft and they're not serving anything. I've been on the pan at Prague, for example. I was sitting there for 3 hours on the aircraft. Problem with the aircraft, they wouldn't let us off. They didn't have anything to serve to people, or they didn't want to serve to people. You need stuff with you just in case. So water, and always a couple of snacks. Right, I'm getting into the corners of the bag now, and this is where I find the added little extras. So more power, little power bank, little travel power bank, so emergency phone charge, that's got a couple of phone charges in it. Very, very rarely use it, but I feel comfortable having it with me, and it's small and it will pack away. Then what else have we got down here? There's another little adapter. That's a USB adapter. I've got that left over from a previous trip. I would try and empty the bag after a trip, but sometimes things get left over. Torch. I don't know if you can see that. The torch. it's a real camping emergency situation, and obviously bottle opener, that's essential business trip equipment, that one. Tissues, you never know, you do get colds when you go away, so tissues. And ibuprofen. I do get headaches from time to time, so yeah, I always carry a little stock of these things. And then finally, my favourite travel piece, which is this. I've never actually had to use this, but I carry it with me just in case. It's one of those things that's a novelty, and it's more of a talking point, but this is essential business travel kit, particularly if you go to restaurants and if you're with a client or you're with a colleague and you're in a restaurant and the table is wobbling. You get wobbly tables from time to time. This is a branded table wedge. There we go. So, problem over. Level table, nice dinner to be had. And once your table wedge has been deployed, you open the box and there it is. Nice little talking point. So that's what goes in here. That's that pile of stuff over there. All fits in here, and that will see me through. So I hope I haven't waffled too much. This is a bit more of a how-to than I usually do on these things, but I hope that you find that useful.